With John McCain coming back from the hospital to vote yes on the debate to repeal Obamacare and potentially throw millions off health insurance, it's a reminder of Senator Ted Kennedy, in a very similar but very different situation. The Boston Globe explains. The dramatic trip strongly echoes the actions of Massachusetts Senator Ted Kennedy, who in the last year of his life made several trips to Washington as he suffered from the same form of brain cancer, although his mission was much different. When Kennedy went to Washington in November 2008, he was advocating for universal health care. Today, the Republicans' plan to repeal President Obama's Affordable Care Act would result in 32 million fewer people with health insurance. Their alternative, repeal and replace plan, would reduce insurance rolls by 22 million. And health care is an issue that Kennedy fought for publicly during his career. Here he is in 1978 talking about the need for universal health care.
I had a father that was touched by stroke and sick for 7 years. We were able to get the very best in terms of health care because we were able to afford it. It would have bankrupted any average family in this nation, any average family that is represented in this hall this afternoon, and the millions of people that you represent all over this nation of ours. I had a son that was touched by cancer. Extraordinary health bills that we were able to afford, and we received the very best. It would have obliterated and wiped out the savings of any family, mortgaged their savings, and mortgaged the education of their children into the future. 7 months in the hospital I was with a broken back and received the very best of health care. I've been able to receive it for myself and for my family. Just like all of us who are on the tip of the iceberg, way up high in the healthcare services. We've got the very best, all of us at the tip of the iceberg. But I want every delegate at this convention to understand that as long as I'm a vote, and as long as I have a voice in the United States Senate, it's going to be for that Democratic platform plank that provides decent quality of health care, north and south, east and west, for all Americans as a matter of right and not of fortune.
But Ted Kennedy's legacy isn't as poetic as it seems. While researching this story and expecting this clean comparison between John McCain and Ted Kennedy, I found out that Kennedy may have actually been the reason that Jimmy Carter wasn't able to pass healthcare reform.
Well, you told 60 Minutes just recently that you could have had health care if
Yes.
Senator Kennedy had not opposed your legislation.
I don't have any doubt about that, yes. Because we had to, as I said already on this program, we had the full support and intimate involvement of Senator Kennedy and Senator Long, who was also chairman of a major committee in the Senate, and the three chairmen of the committees in the House. They were all working with me on a comprehensive bill supported by all five of them. And to repeat myself, it was Senator Kennedy who withdrew his support.
Why do you think he withdrew his support?
I think he considered himself to be the inevitable next president. And maybe he wanted to have his, I'd say, gold-plated, more comprehensive plan put into effect under his own administration. Also, he was actively running against me for president then, and maybe he didn't want me to have a major legislative success, but I would give him credit by saying that I believe it was the first option, that he thought that his own bill, which he would prepare as president in office in the next term, would be better than mine.
Now, while personally I'm inclined to believe Jimmy Carter simply based on his history and the fact that at 92 he's still building homes for the poor, I'll be fair and show you what Kennedy's side of this is. According to the AP, in his 2009 memoir True Compass, Kennedy blamed Carter for dragging his feet on healthcare and wrote that Carter viewed his healthcare efforts as a platform to challenge his presidency. If that's why he slowed things down, then he made a poor political calculation, Kennedy wrote. If we had passed comprehensive national health insurance together, it would have been a huge victory for Carter. So where exactly am I going with this? Well, some stories don't really end with a lesson, but one thing that we can all agree on is that McCain left his socialized hospital bed to go to Congress to be the deciding vote to potentially take away health care from millions of people. And for that, brain cancer or not, he's an asshole.